What's up everybody, SuperDorks fan here for another weekly update. So, lots of good car news to talk about this week. The first thing is that there was a new mule for a upcoming variant of the Mustang that was spied this past week by Brian Williams. And so there's been a lot of debate on the Mustang forums about what this actually is. The people that seem to be in the know are convinced this is a Mustang Mach 1 mule, which they're saying will be coming down the line at some point. But as you can see from these spy shots here, all we can see is it has a little chin splitter in the front, a little spoiler on the trunk lid there. It has the standard GT Performance Pack wheels in the front. In the back, it has the old Boss 302 Laguna Seca wheels on it. So probably just a parts bin. They're just grabbing stuff. This is a rough mule. It still has the hack job rear diffuser there, and it has quad exhaust tips. And they actually caught this car driving, and it sounds different, but it doesn't sound like a Shelby GT350. It's not the flat plane crank 5.2, but it definitely sounds meaner than a standard GT. So whether it's some people have thought that it might be just a regular cross plane crank 5.2 or just modified version of the regular 5.0, who knows? But it does sound good, so whatever it is, it's going to be great. But I don't know. I have my own personal thoughts of what this could be. It could potentially either be just the general new updates that they're going to be releasing for the 2018 model year next year, the refresh that could have a quad-tipped exhaust, much like how the Camaro SS has now for the 2016 models, a standard dual exhaust, or if you want, you can have the active quad-tip exhaust. So that could be what they're doing here with this. Otherwise, though, it's kind of still up in the air, because if this is the Mach 1, it'd be kind of interesting timing, because some people are saying, much like Autoblog, they're currently saying the Mach 1 will come out in 2018, but we know how Ford loves to hit their 50th anniversaries, and that would mean that the 50th anniversary of the Mach 1 would come in 2019, because the original car debuted in 1969. So, could we be looking at a vehicle that's being tested for 2019 model year release? I think this is either a GT that's, the refreshed GT that's currently undergoing testing, or possibly a Bullet version. I love the Bullets. I've been keeping my fingers crossed for Bullets, so I'm biased probably in thinking and hoping that this is a possible Bullet. But as one poster actually on the Mustang forums speculated, he said this could be like a, because always the Mach 1 has been, a standard GT for the most part, with some cool, unique tweaks here and there, but still largely based on a GT. So we're not looking at anything that's be wildly different than your standard GT. So they could be doing a Bullet, for 2018, because that's the 50th anniversary of the Bullet. They could do that here, coming out next year, that could have some of these same tweaks as the Mach 1, and then, upgrade that even further for the 2019 model year for the Mach 1 model. And that way they hit all the 50th anniversaries. The Boss 302 50th anniversary will also be in 2019. So that could, either one, it could go either way. But it seems like the people in the know are convinced this is a Mach 1. I'm not totally sold just yet, but the people that are claiming this haven't been wrong really too much in the past, so I'm inclined to believe them. But just very interesting. It does have a beefed up rear axle there in the back end, it seems to be as well. So who knows what we're looking at here, but hopefully we'll start to see something a little more telling here as the months progress. But interesting to see that nonetheless. Some more concrete news from Ford is about the new 2017 Ford F-150, which is getting revised powertrain options here for the 2017 model year. And those include a new 10-speed automatic transmission that's already been confirmed for the Raptor. But in addition to that, they also said that the 3.5-liter EcoBoost engine is getting a revision. So that they're calling this the second generation version. It's 4 pounds lighter, has about an extra 1.5 pounds of boost that it's running. And because of that, it has the same horsepower figures, but the torque has been bumped up by 30 pound-feet. So now it's 450 pound-feet of torque, which I think is what you'll really be able to feel in those trucks, that additional torque there. And they also did say that the new EcoBoost Raptor, we know the new Ford Raptor is going to be powered by this same engine, just an uptuned version of it. And that we know will have at least 450 horsepower minimum, which will be pretty awesome, and also have the 10-speed automatic. But it's cool to see that, that kind of technology is also trickling its way down into the regular F-150s as well. Another interesting story that was just announced this past week was that the Ferrari LaFerrari will be getting a Spider version. And they said they've already been approaching potential owners and and buyers, and they're already probably pre-selling all of them before the car has even been unveiled. But, we'll probably be seeing it very soon. Could be potentially at the Paris Motor Show here, which is coming up, I think, in September. But yeah, so great to see that. I think the only way to make the LaFerrari better is to make a convertible version, so you can hear that glorious engine even better. A couple of cars were priced this past week. The first one is the new, Corvette Grand Sport, which was unveiled at the Geneva Motor Show as a big surprise to everyone. And another big surprise here is the price of this thing. The price is only going to be $66,445 for the coupe. That's around $70,000 for the convertible. But to put that into perspective, that's only $10,000 more than a standard base Corvette. And you have basically a Z06 without the Z06 engine in it. But it would be, a track monster still, even though it's naturally aspirated, still will be plenty fast. And it's $14,000 cheaper than a Z06. So that's a good amount of savings for those that don't need the extra grunt of the Z06. You could do pretty well with a standard. I mean, that Corvette is going to be decimating just about everything else in its price range. I can't think of, a car that would probably be better suited for track duty for the same price as that. So really, really impressive. And so great to see that they're offering at such an affordable price. Speaking of affordable prices, though, the other car that was priced this past week was the new Fiat 124 Spider, which is a car that I'm personally very excited about. You have beautiful Italian styling on a very reliable Japanese sports car mechanical and chassis basis, because it's obviously based on the new Mazda Miata. They developed the car in a partnership together. And so, yeah, I love the 124 Spider. I think it's a really cool little car. I love the retro cues. I love that kind of stuff, the round headlamps and all that. So great to see that. But the even better news, they sweetened the deal this week on this thing by announcing the pricing. And in some trim levels, it's actually cheaper than the Miata. And you're getting a faster car because, the Miata has 155 horsepower and the Fiat has 160, but the Fiat has a turbo, so it's 184 pound-feet of torque, which is way far and above the Miata's, I think, 145 pound-feet of torque, something around that. But really, I think it's going to be the more fun one personally. I will have to wait to drive both of them to see. But anyway, it's cheaper, and so it starts off right at $26,000, with destination and all that kind of stuff, which is a couple $100 more expensive than a base Miata. But then whenever you jump up to the 124 Lusso, which is the luxury version, that is actually about $1,500 cheaper than the touring version of the Miata, which is the luxury version of the Miata. So it's cheaper, but you don't get all the standard safety equipment like Mazda bundles in together. So Fiat's making it a little more a la carte, so you can get the leather seats and some of the niceties without having to get the blind spot monitoring, all that kind of other extra safety stuff. So that's how the savings is bundled in there. If you were to equip one the same way as you would equip a Miata, they'd be very, very close in price. And then whenever you look to the Abarth version of this vehicle versus what would be the club trim of the Miata, those are the two competitors. They're right there, within a couple $100 of each other. So really not a huge difference, but just cool that, a lot of people were worried the Fiat version was going to be marketed as this more luxurious, high-end version that would be much more expensive than the Miata. But it's great to see that it's basically the same price. And pretty exciting idea there. But it's kind of a personal little side note. I hate how they bundle these option packages sometimes because, I personally love satellite radio, but the only way to get satellite radio is in the absolute top of the line, fully loaded version of the 124. So you either, for me personally, if I were to get one, I would do either a absolute base bare bones model or go for a fully loaded Abarth. And the difference between those two is $26,000 to $34,000, and it's just it's kind of annoying. I wish that satellite radio was a basic option. The Ford Mustang shot themselves in the foot with that as well. You have to get the premium in order to get that. They won't offer it on base models. Anyway, that's another tangent for another time. But anyway, like I said, really, really awesome that they kept that car so affordable. And we have a few stories from Fiat Chrysler Group this past week in addition to the 124 Spider. The first is the 2018 Jeep Wrangler was spied for the first time again by Brian Williams, who spied this, and it looks really Jeepish. It looks very much like any other Wrangler. The only main giveaway you can see from these spy photos is the windshield isn't quite as vertical as it has been on Wranglers in the past. But according to this report, it's saying that when they do build this new version of the Wrangler for the 2018 model year, they will also be still building the current generation Wrangler. So for those that are hesitant about the change and whatever other changes there may be, you will still be able to buy the old version as well, at least for a year year or so, maybe longer, who knows. But great, they're going to give people that option. But yeah, I think it's hopefully going to make for a lot of great improvements. Probably most of the same body styles. Probably have the same, basic V6 engine, but obviously have better fuel economy, new 8-speed automatic transmission, and some other enhancements as well. Another little news story here is that Google has partnered with Fiat Chrysler Group to build 100 Chrysler Pacifica minivans that are fully autonomous for Google's, autonomous testing research and things like that. And so they're partnering up here for this. Previously, the Google autonomous vehicles have been Lexus RX 330s, I believe. And so now they're, moving over to all these, minivans that are going to be autonomous now as well, which will make for, I guess, better uses as far as transporting people and things like that over the Lexus. And so cool to see that. And who knows, maybe you'll be seeing an autonomous Chrysler Pacifica driving around soon. Speaking of futuristic high-tech stuff, McLaren this past week, some of their executives were talking about their plans for the future, and they were saying how by the year 2022 they want to have, I think they said, over half of their vehicles will be hybrid, that they're going to have a new architecture and a whole new engine restructuring architecture, they said, as far as their vehicles and how they're powered. So yeah, interesting to hear that. It just seems like they're all going towards, the P1 was the, I guess, halo vehicle, that now all that technology will be trickling down to, it sounds like, over 50% of their model lineup will be getting this kind of hybrid technology, which will hopefully make them faster, but also greener as well. And, hopefully, well, I don't know. I'm hoping that all the supercar companies don't follow suit. And this is just McLaren doing this, because I think it'd be nice to still have some naturally aspirated vehicles available from, Ferrari and Lamborghini and stuff like that. So fingers crossed they don't all go hybrid, but cool to see McLaren doing that at least. And this past week, Volkswagen unveiled the new GTI Club Sport S, which is a lightweight version of the GTI, of course, that we don't get here in America. It's only going to be for Germany. They unveiled it at a special German Volkswagen gathering, and it's pretty impressive, though. It's loosely based on the same engine that's in the regular GTI, but it's bumped up to 306 horsepower, and it's pretty fast. I think they said 5.8 seconds 0 to 60, which is a good amount faster than the standard GTI. It also was a record beater at the Nürburgring, and so they said that I think it actually it's the fastest front-wheel drive performance hatchback, I believe, on the Nürburgring. It's a 7-minute 49-second and 21 millisecond lap of the Nordschleife, which is pretty impressive. They say that's thanks to the Michelin Sport Cup 2 tires and a dynamic chassis control system that was set up for track use, and those two things have helped to give it an edge. In addition to some lightweight measures, they ripped out the back seats for this special edition and things like that, but it's a regular production vehicle, so that's how they're able to claim that this is the fastest production lap for a front-wheel driver here around the Nürburgring. So very cool to see that. A couple of stories from BMW this past week. The first is that it's rumored that the BMW i8 is going to be getting a refresh for this next model year here, and that with the refresh, they're saying it's going to be bumped up from 362 horsepower to 420 horsepower is the rumor, and that's thanks to them upgrading the 1.5-liter 3-cylinder turbo engine that's currently in it, in addition to upgrading the electric powertrain, the battery packs and the motors and things like that to make it faster. There's also been rumors it's going to get a bigger gasoline engine as well. Who knows if that's true or not? But, we've just been hearing there's going to be a refresh. It's also going to get restyled slightly. Maybe we'll finally see the convertible version as well on sale. Who knows? But cool to see that, they're continuing to work on that. Another BMW vehicle that was officially announced that it's going to be getting a refresh here for the 2017 model year is the new BMW i3 that's going to have a larger battery pack now. So the battery goes from 22 kilowatt hours to 33 kilowatt hours. And so now it'll do 114 miles for the range on, just the battery alone, which is a good improvement over the 80-some range, mile range that they had in the past. And so, you can still also get it with, a range extender with the little engine as well. But, aside from that, it doesn't really look any different, but it is an all-new model, as far as, how they're marketing it and whatnot, and will be coming here for the 2017 model year. Speaking of electric car news, some news from Tesla this past week with the Model 3. So a fan just tweeted at Elon Musk and said, ludicrous mode is the greatest thing ever. Is it going to be available in the Model 3? And Elon Musk just replied with, of course. So I just love how laid back. It's not like everything's super secretive or anything like that. It's like, yeah, we're going to have ludicrous mode. No big rollout or press release or, announcement as far as what it's going to be. It's just like, yeah, we're going to have it, of course. And it's just super casual about it. And that's really cool. So that should mean that the Model 3 should be a very fast vehicle as well, especially with the ludicrous mode enabled. And so that's something to look forward to for those that are planning on ordering a Model 3. And the last electric car news story from this past week is Ford in a recent earnings phone call. They kind of hinted that they are working on developing a higher range EV vehicle because, currently they just have the Focus and the Fusion with the plug-in hybrid kind of stuff. Doesn't have a very much, and the C-Max as well. None of those vehicles have very long electric range. So, they're shooting for something that's like 200-mile range. They said that they're starting to work on that. They could potentially be called the Model E. But that this is all just speculation at this point, but it seems like they do want to develop something like that now. In the past, it seemed like they didn't really have much interest in a long range EV vehicle, but it seems like now that's something that they are interested in doing, most likely because of the enormous success of the Model 3. That has provoked them to look into this more. We do know that Ford also just bought a Model X recently for a huge dealer markup, especially, or not a dealer markup, but some kind of, someone bought one and then resold it to Ford for more money than the sticker price of one would normally go for. So we know Ford is really looking into Tesla so much that they're spending like $200,000 on a Model X to drive around and investigate. So it'll be interesting to see what Ford ends up coming up with. And for some more traditional car news, the last story this week is about Hyundai. They have a new version of the Elantra over in South Korea that they just unveiled, and we're most likely going to be getting something very similar here for the new Elantra Sport for next year. And it's this new Sport version would have the Veloster Turbo's 201 horsepower engine, and in addition, it would have some unique suspension tuning and things like that to make it a bona fide, faster version. And I think the new Elantras look really cool and are really impressive for the money. And so combining that with a cool, more powerful power plant to help it compete with the new Civic SIs that'll be upcoming, and even stuff like the GTI and whatnot, the GLI, all around 200 horsepower. So this puts it right up there with all those other vehicles. I mean, we'll have to wait and see, if the suspension tuning and things like that are even close to being up to par with Volkswagen and stuff like that. But just really cool to see that they're going to hopefully be getting into this performance sports sedan segment here, potentially with the Elantra Sport. So anyway, that's it for all the news this week, guys. I'll send it over to me in the car. All right, so hopefully you guys enjoyed the news portion of the weekly update. As far as other channel news, well, if you may recognize what I am in, but it is the 2016 Cadillac CTSV, which is mind-blowingly amazing. This is the fastest and the sweetest press car I've ever received. With this one has a ton of options on it. So the sticker price is $100,330, which is just amazing to have something like this. And I have it for 8 days, which is like amazing. This thing is so sick. Every time you start it up and just go on even a mundane drive, it's special. And yeah, I'm just really excited. 640 horsepower, supercharged V8, and this phenomenal chassis is going to be a lot of fun to have for a week. So, really excited, and this is what I was hinting at. Everyone's complaining about, we driving Malibus and all this kind of stuff. This is the reason why. You have to take the good with the bad when it comes to press cars. And so, you drive a Malibu for a week, but then you get to drive stuff like this, and it makes it all worth it. Not like the new Malibu is a bad car or anything, just obviously I'm an enthusiast. I enjoy the enthusiast stuff, but you can't get enthusiast stuff like this every single week. And so this is just going to be one of those weeks. It's going to be more fun than others. And so yeah, it's phenomenal. I just got the car yesterday, and I haven't had a chance to film the review, so I haven't even gone more than quarter throttle in this car. And for any of you that, I don't know, if you ever struggle with self-control when it comes to cars, it's been a long time since I've been wanting to mash the gas on a car so badly in my life, but I can't do it because I always save my first acceleration reaction for the car review whenever it's something fast like this. I want you guys to see my very first giggly, crazy acceleration in the review. So because of that, until tomorrow when I can film the review, in the meantime, you're going to have to just deal with me at quarter throttle, and I'm going to have to try my hardest to keep my foot out of this thing, even though I so badly want to just mash it. The stuff I do for the channel, I'm telling you guys, there's a reason why that first acceleration reaction down the back road is always so special, because that is always my genuine first time going full throttle in the car that I'm reviewing. So, yes, but as painful as it is to keep my foot out of this thing, even at low normal speeds, it's still a ton of fun. And honestly, this much power is probably going to be hard to exploit on normal roads with traffic and stuff like that. I mean, even just going quarter throttle, this thing gains speed so quickly that I'm already getting annoyed at traffic and why can't I live in like a post-apocalyptic world where I can just go wherever I want as fast as I want with no laws or other traffic to worry about, and just like this would be the greatest car to own if you lived in like Zombieland or something. But yeah, but even with people around, it's still fun. It's just I can't unleash it as much as I want. But yeah, it's extremely nice. It's very luxurious as well. So yeah, just really, really exciting. Other exciting news for those of you on Snapchat, I also just got a Snapchat account this past week. You can find me. My username is the SuperDurbergsFan, one word, because SuperDurbergsFan was taken, unfortunately. So I had to make do with the SuperDurbergsFan. So definitely follow me on there if you're interested in seeing more vlog style stuff. I'm not still totally ready to just do vlogs on the YouTube channel here, simply because it's a lot of work and a lot of time, and I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I would want to vlog about, because like I've said in the past, I don't think going to the grocery store and stuff like that is vlog worthy. I would rather just vlog about car things whenever there's something exciting going on, but I don't do car related stuff every single day. So I'm kind of just testing the waters and using Snapchat as kind of a gauge to see how many people are truly interested in seeing me just vlogging about regular kind of normal stuff. So if you follow me on there, give me your thoughts here back on YouTube, since there's no comments on Snapchat. Let me know your thoughts on me vlogging, or kind of showing little snippets of my life from time to time. And yeah, so oh, this thing sounds so good too, and I'm not even like windows are up, I'm like keeping my foot out of it, and it still sounds amazing. Anyway, so yeah, definitely go follow me on Snapchat if you do that kind of thing. And of course, definitely follow me on all the other social media if you haven't yet. EcoBoost Fan on Instagram. I've been posting up a couple of pictures of this car already. And of course, on Twitter and stuff for all the automotive news. That's a good place where I, retweet a lot of other automotive news stories throughout the course of the week. But yeah, aside from those two things, the only other thing I want to mention is that after this week, I won't have another press car for about another 2 weeks or so. So I'm going to have 2 weeks of just driving the Mustang daily again. And I know some of you have been saying that you're missing the Mustang. People were like sick of the Mustang weekly updates, like there's nothing new, why are you doing weekly updates if there's nothing new? So I quit doing the Mustang weekly updates, and now people are missing it. I can't win either way, regardless of what I do. But I'm going to be doing Mustang weekly updates for the next 2 weeks at least, so that'll hopefully give you guys some more Mustang videos. And I'm going to try and do some other new type of stuff here with the Mustang as well. I probably have a new mod coming in about a week or a week and a half that I'll be installing. And so, yeah, let me know what other kind of videos you're going to want to see on the CTSV, because I'm planning on, of course, doing the review. I'm going to do a more in-depth My Week With video, kind of like how I did with the Turbo Camaro, and I'll be doing that as well to kind of give even more insight beyond the standard 15 minutes that I have to talk about, in the review. So aside from those two, let me know what else you'd like to see. I'm considering a point of view video, but I'm always hesitant with point of view stuff. I can do them now, but most people complain I drive too slow in point of view videos because I'm not willing to, film myself breaking the speed limit and going double the speed limit on public roads. So it kind of makes it hard to, film entertaining point of view videos, because I actually want to keep my driver's license. But, let me know what your thoughts are on that. If that's something you guys really want to see, I'll try doing one of those in this, once I'm allowed to get my foot into it here and actually go fast. But let me know if there's any other stuff you want to see about the CTSV outside of those 2 or 3 videos, because I have this thing, like I said, for 8 days. I got plenty of time to film stuff with it. So anything you want me to film outside of abusive things like burnouts or donuts and stuff like that, which I'm not going to be returning this car to Cadillac with a set of bald tires, just because this is my first really expensive, really high performance thing they've sent me, and I don't want to have them regret it. So I'm going to baby it, but I'm definitely going to drive it hard still and enjoy it. But yeah, I'm not going to do anything too crazy with it, but should have some fun. I got a lot of friends already that are asking for rides and stuff, so there might be some stuff like that too, some opportunities to just have discussions, throw up a few GoPros and hear other people's thoughts on this car as well while they're riding around with me. So let me know if you'd like to see that kind of stuff. But anyway, yeah, that's it as far as all the updates here on the CTSV and the channel. So thank you guys very much for watching the weekly update. Like I said, I got to keep my foot out of it, so unfortunately I'm not going to be able to leave you with an acceleration like I always do. But like I said, once again, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care.